All right, everybody. How's it going? It's a long Saturday night, but yes, you guys are in here. We'll let you guys trickle in, but yeah, it is a 1-0 loss on the road to Jose Martinez and CF Montreal. And yeah, I mean, not a lot to write home about, but one's in the chat, if you can hear me. Yeah, Drew says pain. Indeed, indeed. And yeah, we'll get you in here soon. So much pain. Yeah, we'll be the therapy for each other, all of us. And yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. A goal at the back post again, and we suffer a loss on the road again. We look bereft of ideas. I mean, yes, Saba looked like he was trying to make some things happen. There were some moments that we were trying to attack the goal, but no goals or no shots on target, rather. Pretty anemic. Stian Gregerson goes on a walkabout. That's probably his best moment in the match. The 2 yellows, not great, and he gets sent off. We're down to 10 men. We actually look a little bit better, actually, when we go down a man, but because it seemed like CF Montreal kind of set up shop a little bit and tried to kind of let us have the ball and see if we could get ourselves in trouble. But them on the counter, yeah, CF Montreal aren't necessarily very good on the counter. I think you're seeing, Jose Martinez, man, as much as we love him, he is a shell of what he once was. And yeah, the runs in behind just almost no longer are there. He does hold up the ball decently, but I mean, what Jose Martinez was a danger on the back line, on the last line rather. And yeah, he used to be a lot more clinical. The shot that Guzan saved with his foot, I think he could have probably done better in terms of Jose Martinez. But take nothing away from Guzan, he had a great match with the left-footed kick save, the tip over the bar, the diving tackle. Guzan did everything he could tonight. All the naysayers, I'm sure, will still probably try to say something, but yeah, it's just, another back post goal, and it's just another instance of deja vu. But yeah, I mean, tonight it's just it looked like one of those Gonzalo Pineda matches. Like some of the players kind of reverting to not really being able to convert or create much. But it's also, yes, again, the reality is we are without a DP attacking midfielder, a DP striker, and I think you see what is the difference tonight. But yeah, Drew, hop on in, man. Let's do this. And yeah, I mean, no need to belabor any points from the off, really. I mean, it's really at this point, can we get some sort of entertainment? It's the defending is decent, and I like to watch defending at times. And good goalkeeping is also fun, but yeah, from an attacking standpoint, no shots on goal. is anemic. It is painful. But all right, let me get you in here with the right channel. Boom, boom, boom. And let me adjust your thingy thing. Yeah, cool. All right. Drew, welcome in. Man, let us know your thoughts.
We're bad. We are so bad right now, and I get it. We've lost all of our best players, but we look so lifeless at times right now. And it's not like we're not creating some chances either. It's when we get those chances, we don't know what to do with it. We get to the spot and we decide, okay, we're done. We're just not going to take a shot, and it kills any chances we have. This game was begging for us to just take shots. That was it.
Which was the funny thing about the broadcast. They were like, "Oh yeah, Atlanta, they're gonna take shots. That's the thing that they do," and we are not taking shots in the box. And yeah, it's also the right ball didn't arrive oftentimes. There were times where Rios, he was at the back post, and it's it's crossed over to the penalty spot where it's congested. It's a little bit more difficult for him. Yeah, it's how we get scored on is oftentimes how we should try to attack, and yeah, the right ball just does not arrive. But yeah, it's so frustrating. Yeah, you guys are joining in the chat a little bit here, but yeah, it is yeah, just a rough watch a lot of times. But yeah, what other thoughts do you have, Drew?
Say stupid foul by Stan on the first yellow, but the second yellow was very soft to be given. It was a shoulder-to-shoulder tackle. I can understand the foul being given, but I don't understand the yellow. If it was a true pullback, I understand the yellow there, but it was shoulder to shoulder, just somebody getting muscled out of the way. I don't. That's a bad call there, and it kind of cost us in the end because Stan had started stepping forward into the attack more. He had that one chance where he just again did not shoot when he had a pretty great chance to take a shot there, and it kind of cost us. You could see that we were trying to create more after he came on, but we didn't have the manpower to be able to overload them in certain areas, and we couldn't get a good shot on goal, and that cost us.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it is yeah, I think maybe the directive was from Valentino when the second half started, or actually at halftime, and then when the second half started, was to be more aggressive. And Gregerson, seemed like maybe he was going to be that player to take it by the scruff of the neck. But man, like it is. I think you're right. The foul is so soft, but I think the thinking is that it stops the counter. But this is the thing. There was another defender nearby. It's not like he could really go anywhere. And the fact that a yellow is called, yeah, it is pretty frustrating. It just further kind of goes down the history with Ted Uncle, and just Ted Uncle versus Atl United, where most of MLS probably is just a antagonistic relationship. But it's man,
when you know a ref's name, that's when you know it's an issue.
Right. And it's also that like his wife is also infamous, for commenting on matches as well, about just The sometimes bad calls, sometimes good calls. We'll give him that, but it's just yeah. It's does it actually change the match for you though? Because obviously we were already down.
No, it doesn't change this game. We might have gotten a couple more chances. We might have stole a lucky goal, maybe, but I don't see us getting 3 points out of this game. I barely see us getting a point out of this game. We were very lackluster in the final third. Saba looked like our most threatening player on the field throughout the entire 90 minutes. He looked like he was the only one trying at points. Silva started to, after the red card, kind of started to get into the game a little bit more and started driving at their back line a little bit more, created a couple chances there. Rios looked like he had zero effort this game at all. And then Jamal coming on, you could instantly see a difference with him making those runs in behind, trying to get a ball over the top, which glad to see him back. Hopefully he gets a start next game here and we can kind of work with him a little bit more. Hopefully he can stay healthy here because it's been a lot of in and out for him. Just lackluster from start to finish, top to bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, speaking of in and out, Stian Gregerson, we'll get to him in a second, but I think it's Rios. He looks jaded a little bit from the past week. A lot of heavy workload, and kind of the commentators curse when they're like, "Oh yeah, you're in great form. How are you doing it?" And it's just like, yeah, that's when the other team, is going to focus in on you and try to nullify your strengths. And yeah, it's not a banner game for Rios for sure. Kind of a little bit clumsy in the box tonight when he probably should have been able to at least get a shot off, but nothing. But Stian Gregerson, he gets back into the starting 11, and he's back out of the starting 11 for the next match because of the red card. And he's a DP. So far, do you think he's been worth it?
When he's in the game, he shows why he's worth it. He shows why he's considered a DP. You can see the talent, especially at the beginning of the year, and when he's gotten a good run of games, you can see why he's considered a DP on this team. He's got the talent. He's able to, like in this game, he can step out of the back and create on his own, and that's something that's very different than some of the other center backs we've had for a while, and it gives us a different depth to that position. The problem is we got to figure out if he's got an injury problem or if this is just a string of bad luck with the injuries and now the yellow and red card accumulations that are going on.
Yeah, it's a maybe indiscipline problem as well, where possibly, to pontificate, is he frustrated at not only him getting injured, him getting carded as well, but also the form of the team. I mean, I can maybe see a reason maybe why he's maybe a little petulant at times, but yeah, the fact of the matter is, for me, yeah, it's not worth it so far. It's he has a long way to show that he is worth the contract, because at this point he's maybe available for about half, not even half, a third of the playing time, and that's not good. That's really not good for someone that we're paying that much for, and wanting to rely on. I would say it's partially why we're in the position we're in. So, but Yeah, in the chat here, Devin makes a return here. Says this team sucks. Yeah, no arguments there. Connor Watson says howdy. Yes, welcome in, and yeah, if you do want to get in, you can be third. Let me know in there in the chat. Devin also says, glad my ex-wife got the season tickets in the divorce because I certainly wouldn't want to pay to watch this schlock week in, week out. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
no, for sure. For sure. It's it is what that is. It's I question if man, that bit of luck is kind of crazy, but it also is, man, if there was any control of the luck, man, reverse that, please. Jesus.
Yep.
It is outrageously the opposite direction. And, obviously there's there's kind of the juju when it comes to, who gets what in a divorce. And, people were hoping, oh, yeah, well, good luck with that, It's... people are like that, right? Man, yeah, it is definitely a sense of, man, season ticket holders right now, yeah, they're not exactly happy. Basically, people are trying to resell their tickets, and they're not getting face value. Some of them can't even give them away for free. And that's pretty, pretty much a microcosm of the form of the team, and the fact that there is an increase in the season tickets in terms of prices. Some teams might freeze it, especially if there's like just really bad optics. I would highly suggest to Atlanta United to do so, but I think the increases are coming. They're not terribly high, but still, I mean, people aren't happy. They're going to cancel. It's like, yeah, increase of 6 to 10% or cancel. So it's, some people they're not for that, and I don't blame them at all. But yeah, Drew, yeah,
That's a terrible look for the team, because we're in a situation right now is we're basically going through a rebuild. We're trying to rebuild quickly here, but it's going to take some time. We still don't have a coach. We have two missing DPs. We don't know what this roster is going to look like in maybe a month. Basically, this roster might be completely different in a month. Basically, you gotta hold the prices right now. There should be no reason to increase. The product on the field is not good enough to be increasing prices.
Yeah, I think their job right now is to retain the business that they have, because getting new, like, I think probably a lot of Atlanta United fans are getting the Instagram ads, Facebook ads, where it's like they're showing the Jamal Tiare kind of wonder goal, in the sense that he was able to do that, and that is entertaining. How often that happens nowadays? Well, I mean, not the goal, but entertainment at the Benz is not as much, I would say, and definitely lacking in a lot of departments. It's bold. It's definitely bold of Atlanta United to do so like that. I get it. They need to sell tickets. They need to get people into Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But that is a lot easier than being at Kennesaw, where you saw the turnout. Like that was
yeah.
That pretty much showed
being at that game, it was a lot of empty seats. Towards the front you could kind of see, but other than that, there was not many people there at all.
Yeah. Did they announce the attendance?
No, they did not at all.
Yeah. What would you estimate the attendance was? 2,000, 5,000,
3,000,
3,000?
maybe.
Yeah.
I was gonna say three to 4,000 max.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, Kennesaw, that game, any of those games, used to be, from Atlanta United, used to be sold out or at least packed. And yeah, I mean, that's you extrapolate that. If say there weren't any season ticket holders, how many people would actually be at the Benz? I mean, it's yeah. I think it speaks for itself. Yeah.
Say I completely forgot about the game versus Indy 11 and decided to look the day before to see if there was tickets, and there was a bunch. There was a bunch left, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay, that's weird. And then I understand why now.
Yep. And it's this. I mentioned it in a a reel in a live post-match fan reaction that we did. That yes, Atlanta United are being propped up by attendance numbers, and some people lambasted, some people said I was self-aggrandizing, but I mean, I don't see how that is the case. It's it's really like it's not. I'm not personally getting people, there. That's not the point, and I think other people misunderstood. But I think most people that are paying attention understood what's going on. But yeah, some more in the chat here. Xavier Sosa, did you play tonight? Were you a left back? The season's been over. Why bother for change this season? It's too late. Hope for 2025 season. That's the thing. MLS is very forgiving. And yes, we've played a good number of our games already this season, but yes, you still have... There's the possibility that stuff might be able to happen. And that is the crazy part about MLS is that, yeah, you could be completely anemic, but, pull a Seattle Sounders. And
we're still in the playoff hunt right now, and we shouldn't be at all.
Yeah.
But we're sitting right close to a playoff spot. We get string a couple wins together, and we're right back in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't bring me that much hope, but we are still in the playoff hunt at that point.
Right. So, I think I mentioned probably my my highlight, I guess, or person that brought some highlights for this match. But yeah, were there some positives for you?
Saba was very positive today. He continues to be that one bright spot on this team right now. Is he's trying, and I at least respect the effort of him trying to do stuff. And if he had a little bit more talent around him and a little bit better players, and you could see the results going way better and his play being way better in games like this. Williams, again, even though that goal went in, he's always been a solid presence at the back, and it's you can see him he was stepping out of the back a little bit more this game when we went down to 10 men within like the last 10 minutes. That's good to see that he's got that confidence now. So that's another thing that we can kind of hope for, is him starting to get confidence on the ball and starting to move up into the attack at points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely agree. Yeah, it's Williams has been one of the bright spots in defending. I mean, really, defending hasn't really been our problem this year, sans a few matches. But yeah, the previous away match notwithstanding, that was a different thing. I think different game state. We got opened up. It was, yeah. I feared for that tonight, actually. And, one, once we went down, because we didn't look like we really could score, I feared that we would try to push too many men forward and get exposed. But somehow we didn't. I think it just shows maybe how anemic and poor that Montreal are on the break. But, you know,
Well, at times we did get exposed. Guzan
Yeah.
bailed us out.
Yeah.
He had a couple big saves in there in the last couple minutes, which kept us in it. So he was also positive in this game.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Patrick, Mark Walter asks, how about Gregerson's red? Yeah, we already talked about that, but, we can probably talk about it with, another person that comes on too. So, but, yeah, Connor, he says, also the buy-in from finishing the season well carries over as well. I think the buy-in, that part's confusing a little bit, but the finishing, the lack of finishing, yes, definitely is, the main bit about this season. I think if there's one thing about this season is just how poor of a finishing team we are. I mean, it's crazy. Like, with all the attacking talent that we brought in last season, and for them all to pretty much not gel, and not be able to have any composure in front of goal. It's just, yeah, like, we're underperforming our XG like something fierce. Like we're allergic to goals. But yeah, Drew, final thoughts.
Let's make it to the transfer window here. Let's see what this front office can do for this team, and let's just see what happens and see where the rest of the season is going to take us at this point.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Drew, always appreciate your company, and yes, have a great rest of your night, man.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Alrighty. So, Niall, hop on in. But, yeah, I'll read the chat here a little bit. Snip says, or Sniper, yeah, there we go. Gregerson is too aggressive and uncontrolled. He is also a paper tiger with the injuries he has already this year. I love the .02 XG at halftime. Yeah, yep. On Gregerson, I mean, yeah, it is coming across pretty, uncontrolled. I would say that, yeah, the aggressiveness is good at times, but yeah, there are, I think, some moments where he's probably just trying to make things happen too much, because coming back from injury, I think you often see this, where players, they really, really want to be involved. They want to show that, okay, yeah, you guys were missing me. I can, change the season around, but yeah, it's that ultimately makes it where these type of things can happen, and that's the definitely the difficulty in all of that. But yeah, it's if it's possible, hold on. There we go. Get our next guest in here. Start pulling all the duties in here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you saw it. You were in here. Boom. Niall. What's up, my boy?
What's up?
All right. So, yeah, let us know your thoughts.
It was just a pretty dull match in general. I think that Montreal pretty much dominated us in the first half. And then obviously in the second half, Gregerson got sent off. I mean, there were people debating on whether or not it was soft or not. But for me, either way, you don't put yourself in that position where you give the referee a chance to book you like that. And then we just can't finish. Like I was like sort of listening to what other people were saying before, and I completely agree. It's like we're just missing that quality, that clinical finish in front of goal. Because in the second half, in my opinion, we had chances to arguably get a point at least. So
Yeah, no, the numbers look bad overall, but yeah,
yeah,
once we went down to 10 men, they gave us every chance to get back into the game. And well, I think we look toothless. That's really the crux of it is, we don't have a guaranteed goal every single match, especially away.
no,
But yeah, I pontificated that there's a little bit of a commentator's curse with Rios before the match, but ultimately it probably is that yeah, he's played a lot of minutes this week, and the energy is definitely tough. I mean, but TRA just coming back from the injury as well, you know, it makes sense that he wasn't the starter for this game, but yeah. Do you feel like you saw enough from TRA to see him start on Wednesday?
um, I mean, I thought he was all right. He definitely, one thing for me that stands out is his pace. I think has a bit more pace compared to Rios. So for me, I think that's something that would be interesting. And you're right. I think Rios has been playing a lot in general. You have a game on Wednesday and then a game on Saturday. So for me, I think you have to think about a change up top, whether you like it or not, just for some fresh legs and just to make sure that the team rotation is tight. So
Because yeah, it's also he didn't score, so it's one of those things. Yeah, if TRA can go at least 60, give him some minutes and kind of make sure the minutes management for everyone at least like this is the thing. What we don't need to happen is that we're now just playing our homegrowns and it's yeah, it might be good in a developmental sense, but yeah,
yeah,
I don't think any of us want to see, like 8 homegrowns on the on the squad, and that's when you truly probably know that yeah, we this season's probably definitely done, and no hope whatsoever for the playoffs. But because right now, yeah, it is. There's a possibility with, like I said, how forgiving this league is, that we might be able to sneak in there. But I mean, yeah. Were there some, like I asked Drew, were there some positives from tonight for you?
I think the one that stands out to me is the most is Brad Guzan. I mean, he saved. Let's be real. He saved our asses quite a bit. I think like 5 to 10 times. So that was definitely something that stood out to me. Because if not for those saves that he made, I think it would have been a lot more of a blowout. I thought Saba also had a decent game. I'd feel really bad for him, honestly, because you can just see how frustrated he gets increasingly with the lack of service when he's wide open. There was one play where he was wide open and he was just screaming because he was like, there's nobody, like nobody's giving me the ball and I'm wide open. So you just feel for him with that.
Yeah. It's also that it's the ability of our players to find the open man.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part.
Yeah, there's not really a range of passing that we once had, so that's going to affect things. The vision from the players currently on the team, unfortunately, is a lot less than when Thiago Almada was on the pitch, and
Right.
yeah, but this is the truth here too, though. Even when he was on the pitch, Saba, yeah, wasn't always fed either, and now he probably is the best player on the pitch, at least for Atlanta United. And, well, yeah, I mean, him not being able to really affect the game too much, yeah, I think it just speaks to it. It's just, the quality, the level of play right now that we're seeing is, dare I say it, it's USL level or worse. And
Yeah.
if I wanted to watch USL, I'd freaking watch USL. Like, this is not exactly what a lot of people are buying in for, but yeah. So let's get into the chat a little bit here. And Sniper says it was soft in the second yellow, but you need to play safer when on a yellow for sure. Yep, indeed. He also adds, I would raise the question of just limping to the finish line to sign our DPs and head coach in the winter, or try to fix it mid-season. Could make a playoff run, but I don't see us signing a Messi. This is the thing. With all the season ticket holder talk and all that, yeah, you cannot afford to not get a DP in, at least. Especially when everybody knows you have about $50 million to spend. Like, that's, yeah, I think the worst thing, though, unfortunately, is that, well, every club knows that we have about $50 million to spend. So they're going to jack the prices a little bit to see if they can get away with, $1 mil, 2, 5, 10, just a little bit more, because they know we have it. So, it's just a matter of, well, yeah, if we break transfer records, though, that's the problem. When, and possibly, if the player isn't good enough, it's extremely easy to break the transfer records in MLS, unfortunately. And I think that's one of those things. It's with Alexei Marinchuk, with that rumor, well, there's a possibility it might be, 11, 12, but it might be 15. And 15, that's still a good bit for a 28-year-old. Like, that's something that might be a bit of a thing it's going to be really rough for Miranchuk. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I don't think his numbers are that bad, and in fact, I think they're quite solid. But like, you never know, and like, I would feel a lot more comfortable, I think, if they also sign a striker this transfer window that I think can help Miranchuk a bit, because I feel like if you have a good striker that complements Miranchuk's skills, and I think you're in a lot better shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I think you need somebody to be able to finish off those chances, and Rios and TRA, I think, are excellent backups. Like, they are.
Yeah.
I think they are actually some of the best backups that we've had in our history. The fact that,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the fact that they've been able to play in the instead of, the departing player. I'm almost gonna be a little bit, he who will not be named right now, just because how much he has left us out to dry a bit right now. But it's John says sign the Russian. Yeah, I mean, if he's the player, I also pontificated on Twitter that we need a left-footed player that can be creative on this team, because the different looks that we need creatively, it's way too right-footed, it's way too predictable. We don't have the balls to different angles that we need, and it's oftentimes we take too long on the ball to when that chance might happen for a left footer. The chance is gone because that right footer can't make that pass one time, or has to shift it to his left, in which case, let's be honest, most people at the pro level, they're probably, if they're right-footed, I mean, unless they're a very two-footed player, they're not going to shift it over to their left. They're going to try to find it on their right. They're not going to embarrass themselves on their weak foot. So it's definitely one of those things where we need those back post balls there. We need on set pieces different types of service, and I think that's partially why we're just so predictable, and we haven't scored from a set piece this season. I mean, that's like last season we were scoring a ton, a ridiculous amount even, and this season it's like, oh, just again, it's allergic, but any other thoughts?
I mean, I think going back to your point about like there being sort of too much like predictability, I think maybe that's part of the interest in signing Miranchuk, is he's a guy from my understanding who's more of a chance creator than a finisher, and I would argue that that is actually something that would be a benefit for Atlanta, because you need a guy that's going to be willing to get into the box, provide good service for others, be very creative in the final third. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, it is that it's what we've needed. I think is someone that is looking to kind of connect all the lines and put in that final ball. And because that's the thing, it's we have with Silva, with Saba, and possibly a DP striker, guys that you get them in front of goal, they can finish. The issue is most of those players, getting them looks inside the box hasn't been the easiest, and it hasn't really happened all season. They've almost had to create their own shots, which, when you're a winger, it's not, you're seeing the returns of what it's, usually going to be, especially also when the book is out on you in the league. It's like that second year always, I think the teams always find out what you're about and they adjust to you. So, the point is, for a lot of the other players, when they adjust to you, you got to adjust back and you got to adjust to something new. But John also says an investment player would be nice to maintain this transfer budget too. I mean, I think that's the problem too, though. We've gone maybe too investment heavy on, one for the future versus trying to win now. And those are the problems that you kind of run into. You got to strike that balance. And I think, if you can, what we've done a little bit is we do have those type of players coming from our academy. So, I don't really think we need to bring in too many, guys for the future right now. I think maybe bring one in for the, the U22 that we're going to free up, possibly in the off season. But, but what do you think now?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of, I think, developing young talent for money, I think money is never an issue for this team. When you have Arthur Blank in his checkbooks, and I don't think that's an issue. Like, and to add to that, like, this team, like, 50 million is just what the team got from the transfers. I'm pretty sure they have a lot more money lying around in terms of Arthur Blank checkbook. So for me, I think you have to very much be in a position where you need to win. You've not won a trophy in like 5 to 7 years. So, 7 years or around that time. But so you need to get back to that. And I think the idea of like developing young players from South America and then sending them to Europe, I think that sort of like concept is, I think, done for this team. I think rightfully so, we're moving on to a pathway where we sign players that have experience, that can be ready from day one to make an impact on this team. And I think that's what this team needs right now.
Yeah. Because I think, a lot of fans are sick of us being a pipeline for, other clubs. It's very much so where, the numbers, we're in the black. We're good. Like we are definitely making a ton of money from not only a lot of different avenues, but let alone, I think, yeah, just from the attendance or from the season ticket holders, like there's plenty from game day revenue. There's plenty, and ultimately, yeah, it's like, what have we spent in terms of transfer fees and all that throughout the years? It pales in comparison. I don't think really we've possibly even spent that much, for like the 50 million that we got this window, that we're probably, because it's not completely, fully all in yet, probably, but and I'm sure it's going to be in installments and all that, but still, it's just, we've spent 15 on Barco, about 15, 16 on Almada. Yes, the other players do require some bit of transfer fees and salary, and it's just like, yeah, we're good. It's very much, yeah. Like Arthur Blank, he's worth billions, so he's good. Like this is a money making venture for sure for him. That's basically, any sort of thing that is happening, it's a drop in the bucket. Millions? He doesn't give an F.
Easy.
Yeah, like it's not even in the hundreds of millions. It's I promise you, we probably haven't even spent over 100 million in transfer fees. But yeah, Sniper. No, wait. Let's see. Yeah. Patrick Mark Walter says, "Why are we wearing the blues so much? Because it's our secondary kit and we're playing away." So, but yeah, I get you. We're playing, we're playing it in it at home too at times. But it's the new kid. They're gonna try to again. We're good on money. Like a lot of people have bought that kit. Like it's yeah. Anyway, Sniper says we don't really need investment players. We need players to win. Club shouldn't be acting like a cash drought. There we go. Acting like a cash drought club. And we need to play to win with Arthur Bucks. And John also says, any hope for a big league player looking to step down? I know Depay's name was thrown around. Yeah, Depay is very hit or miss for me. And yeah, I don't know if him as an out and out striker does it for me. Like he can play there. I think he is probably a better left wing player, but yeah, I don't know. It's for me, he's he lacks a bit of that kind of that killer instinct that you really truly need. But what do you think about Depay?
I mean, it's interesting, but realistically, I don't think it would fit. Also, I think the age is also a bit of a. I mean, the age for me is something that is a bit of a concern. I think he's 30, 31, around that age. So for me, that's not really sort of a player that you're going to be able to have around for, I would say, a good couple of years. So for me, I think signing players who are more closer to that 24 to like 28 level mark, for me, are the players you're going to be going after.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, yeah, I agree. It's there is some convincing probably that will need to be done for those type of players, and the transfer fee might be a little higher
a lot.
for those type of players. But again, we good. We are good. But yeah, Sniper says we need to act more like LAFC, who brings in aging talent that can still dominate in MLS. We need that statement player. My pick is Roberto Firmino. The team looking to move him. Is is the Saudi club looking to move Firmino? I mean, I think last I heard he was, you know, still fine over there. So I would like Firmino, but I mean, you being a Liverpool fan, Niall, I mean, he definitely is probably more of that false nine. He's maybe not that out and out kind of guy, but he would link up play. The hold up play is really good. I don't know if he's got the legs as much anymore to be as good of a presser as he once was, but yeah, what do you think about Firmino?
I mean, he's a creative player and he's an amazing player, but I think, like I've said before with Depay, the age for me is an issue. Like, how long is he going to be able to play at a top level for you? I would say maybe just a year alone. Like, I don't think he has that much legs left, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, it's very true. But Sniper says we guaranteed Cousins 100 mil. I mean, that's Falcons. That's Falcons have their own money. Like it's like this ain't about Atlanta United. Like Atlanta United brings arguably probably more match day revenue than the game day revenue for the Falcons. But yeah, but yeah, Sniper says we need at least one older big name player, even for a couple years. Jersey sales alone would typically cover their cost. I mean, yeah, probably true, but you know, I think, yeah, I would try to go for maybe if it's a striker, maybe it's not the 24 to 28 range, maybe it's the 28 and up range, but probably closer to the 28 range. Then yeah, okay, that one player that, I mean, not one player, but the player that wants to get that last payday, and that's how you lure him over here. Because yeah, the salary wise too, it's like, well, you can pay him whatever you want. DP wise, it's only gonna be a certain charge. So yeah, we arguably have a little bit even more leverage to get the guys that we want. Yeah, Cyber says more so about Artie got the money. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, because yeah, Kirk Cousins, it's like, yeah, yeah, he got his money. Great, good for him. It's and yeah, it is that. Yeah, Blank does have money. It's and that's the thing too. It's yeah, there's a bunch of other players on the Falcons that you have to pay, but again, Falcons, they make their own, so they should be able to be okay. Connor says, my concern with the guys 30 to 32 is his contract is likely to the 34-year-old season, and that concerns me. By then, their legs are heavy and most likely unable to press like we most likely would require. I mean, that's the thing. Depends on the playing style. So, if we're not a pressing team. Like, we're not a good pressing team. No. So it's one of those things where, I mean, we've been I wouldn't say getting away with it, but we're the team that doesn't need good pressing players from the front. Even though I think it's this, Saba's a good presser. I think if he is able to be in a system where he's not the lone player trying to press correctly. Silva, I think, lacks a little bit of the pressing intelligence, a little bit, and Almada, I think we knew that yeah he probably can press, but it's just a matter of he's preserving his energy a little bit, and GG chicken with his head cut off a little bit, and it's like good at times, but also the Lone Ranger sometimes as well, and it's just too easy sometimes when you are not pressing as a team. The triggers are not properly I think assessed and figured out before the match. Then yeah, you're gonna look as bad as we have. But yeah, and it's not just the front, it's midfielders as well. But Sniper says we typically never have the striker pressing unless they have an opportunity. Yeah, because basically GG, he did a lot of pressing, but it was where, again, he was like the only player pressing, and it's super easy to play around at that point. Yeah, and especially if Almada is like, a little bit more lackadaisical, well, yeah, you're just gonna get sliced open, and at that point, well, but so Fernandinho Ronaldo says, why you guys don't interview people after the games outside the stadium like the beginning years? Well, so basically, it costs a lot of resources and money to do that, and basically the Gulch, where the original parking lot was, no longer exists for fans to be able to be there. So every year, the supporters groups have moved their parking lot. And so essentially, I would gladly, yes, if you guys, support the channel like that to be able to pay for the parking, to pay for the, equipment costs and maintenance and repair and wear and tear, and also, the also, the work it takes to actually get all the people that we did every single match, and then also pretty much edit those things up until about 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, and also where people are watching it because the team is actually good, then yeah, absolutely, we're happy to do it. But I think there's a lot of factors that I've just outlined. So they were fun to do, and I would still love to do them. But those are the realities, and I think that's. Any more questions about it? I mean, yeah, happy to answer it. But that's that's the reality. Like essentially, it would take, because after 2020. When we moved over to across Northside Drive, basically it would take possibly 15 minutes to cross Northside Drive sometimes just to get to the equipment, because they blocked it off so that people can, drive, people can walk. Like it just takes way too long. And if it was a whole thing where it was a lot easier and there were a lot of people closer to the stadium, then again, happy to do it. But that's just not the reality. Okay, Sniper says, we typically never have the striker present. Okay, yeah, we read that one. John, trying to think of some older players that are falling out of their prime. I know Conte and Griezmann look like they are reaching that point. Conte, I don't think, is a player that we should go for. We have a Muyumba that's a Conte light. Very, very light. But, yeah, definitely kind of harkens a little bit of that ability. Sniper says, I see a false 9 in the 4-3-3 working with what we have. We should pick up another right back to allow Lennon to play more right wing, moving Saba to left wing. I will stand on getting Firmino here on a 2-year deal. I want to believe he has a couple more seasons left. I don't know if Saba works as a left winger. Yeah, it's he played there a little bit tonight. He shifted over, but yeah, he has tried to play there this season, and I mean maybe with some better coaching, some more instruction, possibly. I think he's got, he's probably our best 2-footed player on the team, but I don't know. Like, what do you think? I mean, him on the left wing, does it work for you?
Look, I think for me, you put the players in the best position. When you're not doing that, then you're not maximizing their talent enough. Yeah. So for me, I would not put Saba on the left wing. I would keep him on the right, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, he is able to cut in on his left decently, and then he's able to provide service on the right. I think it's the redundancy with he and Lennon that
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, you don't really need two guys that can stay wide and, you know, cross the ball like that. It's just, you know, you need a little bit more dynamic. And so, you know,
Yeah.
like if it wasn't, I would. I'm gonna be honest. I'd probably try to keep Saba more than Lennon, and you know, or at least because Lennon as a more interior type of player, as a more maybe inverted fullback, if you will. It's an
Yeah.
imperfect type of description, but you know we'll go with it. But yeah, it's. I don't really think it's uh, like. I think though, if we had an inverted fullback, obviously also this, they wouldn't be in this league. But yeah, it's one of those like maybe we can develop Edwards to be a little bit more inverted if that's his strength. I don't know, but you know that would provide a little bit more of the dynamic that we might need. But yeah, problem with Lennon, we don't have a poacher to drop crosses into. To a degree, I think it's yeah. You know, even with Gigi up top, like he wasn't able to find him. You know, and basically you have a kind of bruising, uh, you know, target forward, and we still weren't able to do anything with him. So it's just like, okay, well, are we wasting, you know, the service from Lennon? Probably, and you know, it also is. Does he waste a lot of the service himself? Yeah. So, but Sniper says he is a workhorse, but not anything useful with what we've got. You mean we can't have Trent and MLS? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. I mean, you know, Alexander-Arnold is definitely a unicorn. He's possibly the best, you know, from a passing standpoint, right back in Premier League history, and it's insane. It's not close, probably, and but as far as you know, his dynamic ability, I think there are some other players around the world that can offer a little bit of that, and probably what we can go for. But yeah, any thoughts on all that before you know we get to your final thoughts?
I mean, the invert fullback thing I think is interesting. Um, I think part of the problem is that like you like would need a person up top that can like consistently finish for that service to like be there for Lennon. But the invert fullback thing is something that I would definitely try for sure.
Yeah, and I don't know how expensive it'll be, or if we can convince those type of players to play in MLS. But you know, those are the perils, and so you know maybe it might be easier to keep Lennon, and then yeah, you know, maybe it's a right winger that's you know inverted there, and you know can cut in. I think that's possibly easier to find because those grow on trees a lot more than an inverted fullback. That's for damn sure. But yeah. So final thoughts.
Um, I mean, just another kind of dull match. It's annoying that Stion's going to be out once again for this next match, and honestly, I'm just kind of just waiting to see what we do in this transfer window at this point. I mean, things are pretty dull right now, which is to be expected. But once again, I mean, you would like for there to be some more sort of like spark in the team right now.
Yeah. Indeed, all the action seems to be off the pitch right now, and yeah, Niall
Yeah.
is definitely helping us cover it. So stay locked on all our socials. Yeah, the rumors are gonna be coming. I think thicker and faster.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, Niall, thank you so much. Pleasure as always, man.
Yep. All right. Take care, AJ.
Thank you, man. You too. Alrighty. Connor, hop in here when you get the chance. But yeah, definitely good stuff from you guys in the chat right now. Really enjoying the discourse. Some good ideas. So yeah, I mean it's the inverted thing. I mean it's I think this is what you're seeing tonight. It's like, okay, Ronaldo Hernandez is technically inverting a little bit. He was trying to play with his left a bit, but Ronaldo Hernandez, again, a little bit lost his marker. It also is on, the right side with Brooks Lennon to have let that service in anyway. It's just, our wingbacks cannot defend. And yes, that is MLS, but yeah, it's like we need to prop them with a better system probably, because their strengths are not being utilized, nor they're basically being exposed for sure. But Sniper says, I personally think we need to go with a 4-1-2-3 as the middle. Need Sleesh to lock down the middle to allow Jay or Muyumba to be more playmakers. Defense has been rough. Possibly. I mean, that's the thing. We only have 4 midfielders, though, so yeah, we risk really tiring out every one of our midfielders every single match. Like we have an imperfect roster. If we're going to play that way, I think maybe we should probably just bring in just some better players or more players, as midfielders. Like we've kind of pontificated a little bit. That's we need a DP8, but I don't know if we'll have the space for it. It'll be interesting because one DP spot for an attacking midfielder, one TP spot probably for a striker. That's probably what you're gonna have to pay for, in this league anyway. But Connor, let us have your thoughts.
Well, pretty boring match. I mean, had 36% possession. I mean, Montreal created a decent amount. We didn't really. Pretty boring overall. I mean, Saba looked pretty good. I was enjoying him playing, but other than that, I mean, pretty boring game.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really. Brad had some good saves. I mean, I enjoyed watching that.
Right.
Enjoy his success, but I mean, pretty boring overall.
Right.
From our standpoint, but
right, and that's the thing. It's like, if we're gonna be boring, at least score that first goal and then just be boring and win 1-0. But obviously, that's a difficult thing right now for us is to score first. Like these first halves, I mean, borderline. Man, I don't even know like what the metaphor would be, but just snooze fests in the first half
it's
for the
just
most
seeing
part.
it out. It's just literally not conceding in the first half. It's just seeing out to halftime and not conceding.
Yeah,
it's our whole entire game plan essentially.
Right. It is definitely not on the front foot. It's not playing with bravery or courage. We I think it was the broadcast that it was the broadcast that basically said it looked like two fighters that were trying to kind of feel each other out a little bit, but man, I don't even know if it was feeling each other out. It was just two sides that looked like they didn't really want to attack and really throw men forward, and it's just there's this mentality, I think, that I think that it's partially why we're in the space that we're in, and I think there is almost a hyper self-awareness that we don't have our DPs, we shouldn't go for it. I don't think we deserve to win this match, and I think that could be even more poisonous at the moment, and it is partially possibly why we absolutely need to bring in the DPs, even though there is that aspect where this is what we've done. We've brought in DPs without a head coach that's hired. Where do you stand on that?
I think bringing in a guy, I think it really depends on. I don't know if bringing in a guy that I don't know if we sign a DP that can be bought down. I don't think that's the right move because those are kind of hit or miss. But if we bring in a guy like I cannot say his name right, the Russian guy, the center attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
I cannot say his name, so I'm just not even going to try. But
Miranchuk, yeah.
I think that signing, I think I would be okay with, mainly because I also kind of feel it's a creative area, and I think no matter what, like he almost has the talent that where I think he can be better under, like, obviously under a good manager he'll be better, but I think his talent is almost at the point where he'll be so good that it doesn't really, like, it can go badly, but I think the chances are a lot lower on him than bringing in like a fringe DP guy.
Because it's also this, I think Miranchuk, sorry to cut you off there, but yeah,
No, you're good.
it seems like he has the old man skills where, you know, he's not relying on pace. He's not relying on,
Yeah.
you know, something that won't age well. His creativity will still age well. And he's good in tight spaces. And, you know, I think that's partially what we need. But, yeah, what were you about to say?
It's also with him, I think one thing that I think is a good thing is he's coming out of a really, it could be a good thing and also could be a bad thing whenever you look at it, is he's coming out of two, like with Atlanta and
Torino.
Torino on loan this season. I think both sides are pretty well coached from what I remember. I don't exactly remember Torino. I think they've 17. Let's see, where did they finish this year? 9th. I mean, it seems like if I remember correctly, they're both pretty well coached sides. So I mean, without coaching, without a head coach and really proven like what we're gonna do yet, it could be a concern. But I think he's one of those guys that he can create no matter kind of what. He's a creative guy. He'll be able to figure it out while he's in game. He'll be positioned. He tends to sit more right, so I would slightly worried. What does that mean for Saba? What does that mean for Lennon?
Yeah,
he's kind of a sitting right side. So I like the idea because that means he can cut in. So like that almost means that Saba needs to like leave. But if we don't bring in a striker, I'm almost like put Saba like central maybe. I mean, that he's not really a good enough finisher to do that though. So I mean,
yeah, I'm not really sure that quite works. But
kinda.
Yeah, it is though. I mean, you know, I think if you have the three of them in that kind of that right hand space,
Yeah.
you know, I think you cover more of the zones that you need, and you know the triangles that you can play. Well, I think that allows us to be a little bit more, you know, and possibly right hand heavy, which you know, could be a good thing if we can create goals from that side. So, you know, if it allows Saba to be a little bit more central sometimes when Miranchuk maybe, you know, goes to the right side to provide some of that service, and they can interchange, I'm game for it. But it's more, we still need a striker there to you know, to be inside the box, in the 6-yard box, to finish off those chances and especially get those rebounds. I mean, it's just one of those things where there's a lot of times we're reticent to shoot, or you know, we take too many shots from outside. It's this weird imbalance that, you know, is a dichotomy that doesn't make sense really, but it seems like it kind of shifts from game to game sometimes, where we should shoot you know, from distance, and then, you know, then we don't do it the next match, which I get it because it's a different game, but it's just like there are no repeatable patterns, I feel like, that I see in this team right now. And
it was kind of, even under like Pineda, kind of like there were some similar things, but it kind of felt like it was weird. I noticed that towards the end, like during the really good days, we did seem to have patterns, and we also seemed to create a lot of like similar chances. But towards the end, we almost seemed to like branch off from that, which I thought was interesting. I mean, I think one of the issues is the patterns that we were creating, other people figured them out, and then they fixed what was happening, because a lot of it was like they were cutting off the Saba and Lennon route. They were cutting that off really well, and then they were forcing Lennon to make a pretty like a harder ball than he was before, which I think really killed him. But I think other than like under Rob, it's not. There's no patterns. I mean, I can't really blame him. I feel like it would be hard to create patterns now.
Right.
But I mean,
yeah, it's also that it's like, yeah, you basically yeah, you don't have any time to actually train on the pitch or on the training grounds to actually figure out, you know, some of the things that he probably wants to implement. And so it's essentially, yeah, you know, you kind of have to allow these players to just kind of figure it out within the game. And yeah, you're not able to replicate these situations because you don't have any time between matches to actually train for the club that you're playing against. And you know, it's just this kind of vicious cycle that, yeah, we're just playing all these games that, yeah, we have all these players that, you know, they don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what to do to get out of it. But Sniper says 5 in the back just causes chaos. I mean, at times I think it does allow backlines to be a little bit more stout, and you know, kind of
depends on how you utilize a 5 at the back realistically.
Right, and basically how you can
if you're
spring it forward.
attacking one can be.
Yeah, exactly. I think, yeah, if there's a possibility that a side can be, you know, just they keep 3 men back, and you know, you at that point have 7 players that you can throw forward a little bit.
I'm a big fan of the like do 3-2-5, but your 4 attackers with the 2 cams and 2 wingers, and it's the 2 fullbacks pop up there. I'm a big fan of that. I like when teams do that, and I thought Montreal actually did that once Gregerson sent off. They actually started to do that, which I thought was pretty interesting. They sent both wingbacks forward more often, which I was like, why didn't y'all do that to begin with? Because we're toothless, and y'all could have made it like 3 or 4-0 within the first like 30 minutes, because we're so like we have nothing on the attack.
Yeah,
so I don't understand them not trying to do anything.
They were definitely a lot more central, you know, in the first half, which definitely was perplexing. It was I mean, it's partially because of that too. I think they have you know, 3 men in the back as well, and when you do that, well, yeah, you know, you basically have the danger of playing a little too flat. But Fernandinho Ronaldo says, so is it still Pineda's fault we've been bad this season after they sacked him? Absolutely. The things that were true can still be true, because essentially us being that bad on the road, who's that on? It's on the players, it's on the coach. The coach never figured it out in his tenure here. And if he had actually figured out to be even just league average, we would have a whole different conversation. He would be actually probably an above average coach. But you know, it's just one of these things where, you know, he never figured it out. And you know, once you started losing at home, well, then there it is. Like murder she wrote. It's what else needs to be.
It's also
go ahead.
It's also like the thing that Pineda had that Rob's never been given is an actual, like, yes, he had a lot of injuries and he had a lot of like uncertainty in his time, and he had a lot of things, but even some games whenever we did have all players and we might have gotten a win out of it, there was a lot of riding, especially in some of these games that I saw personally. I was like, this doesn't look like this is like a sustainable thing. This looks like we are the better players, and we are just winning because we have better players. We have an Almada that's scoring a nice goal or creating this one-off chance. We're not creating these 3 or 4-0 wins like we were like last season even. And sometimes even this season, whenever we're winning 3 to 4-0, I was like, we score one lucky goal and then it just kind of unravels for the other team. That's personally how I felt of it. Was we had a lot of issues that weren't fixed, and our players were covering over the cracks. Yeah. And once they were not here anymore, the cracks just exploded, and now we're left with this.
Yeah, because how
That's
many?
just how I saw it.
Right, absolutely. How many games did we see at the Benz where we were underperforming and then we were able to create a moment of magic to either rescue it for a draw or win it late? And again,
100%.
those are not sustainable actions. Like, yes, we did make it happen, but again, once the wheels fell off, well, this is what you saw, and it's just like, well, we had nothing to, kind of bear down on as our foundation. So at that point, it's just like we have to pin it on Pineda, but it also is still on Boca. It's top down. A lot of issues that were not addressed, were
100%.
not fixed from game to game, from year to year, and this is why we're in the position that we're in. But
and a lot of it goes to players as well. I mean, we're like, us underperforming our XG so bad, like we had this season, isn't completely on Pineda. Like, if you're given a high XG chance and you're not taking it, that has some part to do with the player as well. And I think that needs to be said. But it also, whenever you're not able to even finish out a win, or you're not able to, there's things at play, not only just Pineda and what his tactics were, but players, signings, squad depth. I think that's a big issue. And I think honestly we probably overanalyze how well we were going to be able to do, because we have a lot of players that are supposed to be, or that were supposed to be really good, and now they're on loan to a Argentinian side and they're taking up an under 22 slot. That isn't helping us, but
indeed,
a lot of things.
Yep, for sure. It's we have a very short squad because of it, but Yep. Let's see. Sniper says, "What about the Gio Reyna rumors? I think it could be good, but will he accept a step back in the hopes of taking 2 steps forward?" So the Gio Reyna rumor isn't real. It's an MLS article that was written that pontificated that Reyna should come to Atlanta United. I mean, but to address it, him as a player, he's very talented, definitely enigmatic. His family are not helping him really in a lot of facets, because yes, with his name, it's helped him to get to where he's at for sure, as well as his talent. But I think he is a bit too brittle, I think, for my taste, in terms of not only physically, but I think mentally. Not an Atlanta United player that I think I would. It's like if he was brought into the team, of course I'd root for him. But do I think that he would be good for the system? Do I feel like, would he feel like he's a player that's too big for MLS or for this team, especially with the state that we're in? I mean, I don't think this is something that he wants to step into either. Like, especially with his family, they're gonna it's a headache that I do not want any part of. But what do you think?
He feels like a player that, like, as soon as he gets his career back on track, he would jump ship straight away. That's kind of how I feel. And also, why would a guy that was playing in the chain?
Yeah, I think your sound dropped out for me, but I don't know if everybody else heard what you said. But I think.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah. Can you repeat?
There we go. Sorry, I got a phone call. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Bad.
That's why. But yeah, if you can repeat what you said, yeah.
I was just like, I think he's the guy that's going to jump ship straight away, as soon as he gets his career back around. And also, I don't know why a guy that was playing in the Champions League in the Prem would want to join us. I think that's a bad career move for a 21-year-old. So I even, no matter how much money we give him, I mean, I think he can get similar money in other places in Europe. So I don't really see it.
Yeah.
But,
was he playing in the Champions League? He was playing for Nottingham Forest, so I don't think he was.
Played for us for the second half, and then he was with Dortmund the first half. I don't know if he ever got into the Champions League squad or not.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
check that out
with Dortmund, obviously, but yeah, not for Nottingham Forest. But yeah. Let's see. Sniper also says, for us, 5 in the back is chaos with a younger back line and not a normal formation of ours. Exactly. I think it's also this.
We're not built for
we're not built for a 5 in the back. Exactly.
The main issue.
The center backs probably, because it does help cover their deficiencies, but the wing backs, again, this is exactly what I've been talking about before we went to 5 in the back or 3 in the back, is that we now only have 2 wing backs. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, yes, we have Edwards, who's a homegrown, but if we're relying on that, we are in trouble. We already are in trouble, but it would be even worse. So it's just one of these things where, yeah, as quickly as we can not play 5 at the back, we shouldn't. And yeah, it's Kyle Brown says, why is Lennon on the roster adds no value? I mean, I disagree.
Pretty rough take, but
yeah, I don't think he is a player that is, maybe the most talented on the squad, but obviously, his availability is something to be lauded. He is, I would say, an average. Or maybe below average defender, but from an attacking standpoint, last season he was probably the best attacking right back in the league. Now this season, we've been anemic in front of goal, so all his service has been, not rewarded. And like I mentioned earlier in the episode, if you rewatch it from there, also, it's his own issues as well, with some of his service. I think maybe not in this match, but in some of the other matches, yeah, he was overhitting a lot of stuff, or it was very hit or miss.
He's weird. Yeah. It's like, I feel like he was hurt by. There's a few things that hurt him this year. Strikers not being able to finish, and also him being asked to almost be the sole creator, and other teams knowing that we had only 2 creators. He was basically he had to put the delivery on the dime, and that's just not he's not Julian Gressel. He can't put it on someone's head. Which even Julian Gressel, I mean, he's not like Trent, but it's also, he's the best attacking right back, solely a right back. If you're playing a 3 at the back or a 5 at the back, probably just slot a more defensive, a really good work rate winger out there. Lord, I can't speak. Put a really good work rate winger who can defend, kinda, and you'll probably get more service out of him. But solely as a right back, I think he probably offers you the best going forward. So it all depends on what formation you want to play.
Kyle also says poor crosses and foot slow. I disagree. I mean, it's just his crosses are good. That's why he takes the set pieces. It's an issue of, I think, getting the actual players in the right spots on some of those things where they actually are aggressive in attacking those balls. Yeah. And also,
if we had a left winger who was in the box, he would have significantly more assists, in my opinion.
There's that, and then the foot slow, he's not slow. Is he defensively aware all the time? No. Is he a player that is able to stop the crosses that he should most of the time? No. But foot slow? Disagree. He's definitely a quick player. Maybe are his reactions fast? That could be one of the issues. But
I think he's just not a very aware defender. I don't think he can see the plays out beforehand like some players.
Exactly.
I think that's a big issue for him. But
he's
other
not.
than that, I think he's pretty good.
He's not aware of the danger. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Sniper says our depth is what 14, 15 total players. Yeah, went and checked. We have 19 players, 6 being academy players mainly. Yeah, when you're relying on 6 academy players, and most of them haven't really played a ton. I mean, yes, they played
significantly under 20 years old as well.
Yeah, it's that's just this is where we are, and it's we're 2 DP-less players. We don't have a head coach. We're relying on 6 academy players that have not played a ton of minutes, and we're relying on them for the first team. Like, they're not getting a ton of minutes for the for the twos. We're relying on them for the first team. Like, it's when the teams like lauding, oh yeah, we're playing so many homegrowns. It's like, guys, yes, that's great spin. That's fantastic spin. But it is, like, if we're doing that and we're winning, okay, yeah, guys, like, we're really cooking. No, we're doing this while we're making mistakes. We're getting 5 dropped on us. It's not a great look. It's I think that's really where I think that the team
100%.
Yeah, the team really needs to be self-aware from their end too. Like, yes, I understand that they need to make content, but
it's like New York Red Bulls, maybe. It's about the only person that I can say that where you really put maybe NYCFC and they're like they're not really that homegrown. They have a lot of younger talent that they bought and they brought in, but like New York Red Bulls, maybe that's about that's the only team that I think provides the most homegrown players that actually plays somewhat well.
Yeah,
but I think that's more so on the Red Bulls academy system and how they've developed their system.
Yep, exactly.
More so than the overall. They have a lot of Red Bull's a whole entire thing. So
exactly, and they have a worldwide thing as well.
System.
Right, and FC Dallas might be another team that produces a lot of homegrowns. Whether they actually
forgot
can
about them, they do.
But whether they can actually achieve anything with them in MLS, that's a whole different thing. I mean,
they're unfortunate. They have a lot of people leave before they can.
Yeah,
I was looking at that earlier. Actually, whenever I was talking to somebody, I was like, they're very unlucky. They have a lot of people in their depths who leave right before they get that chance. And I was like, oof.
Yeah,
they could keep them one more year. But.
Man, yeah, FC Dallas fans, they probably have it rougher than we do for sure.
Oh, but, 100%.
Yeah, let's see. Sniper says, for now, headline question for Atlanta United. WTF are you doing in your club box and front office? Are you even watching the games that I guess we are? I guess that we're playing. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing. They obviously are, and I would hope that the alarm bells are ringing a lot harder for them than even for the fans. That's right now they're hopefully doing everything they can to make sure that some of these repeating mistakes and things that are happening do not continue to happen. But that could be the issue, is that people are feeling really cushy up there, and well, if they are feeling cushy, they need to go. But Sniper says, doesn't allow us to respectable rotation as we send for too many Atlanta United 2 players. Yeah, for sure. Kyle says, what exactly is Schlich's role? Initiate or defend? He is it basically more so than most of the other players, sans Dax McCarty. He is a player that should sit in front of the defense and basically, shield it so that balls do not get into the striker. And also,
there's a reason at the Euros why he was the most defensive player for Poland. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that one.
Right, and he did play a little bit more forward when Dax came on, and I think that's with good reason. You're not gonna sit 2 players when you're trying to attack and score a goal. So, of
He's
course.
also very talented with his feet for being I mean, he's a very good player, but his best attribute is defensively and being able to supply the ball to the players who can deliver, who can create the chance.
Exactly.
I mean, he's good on the ball. He can move the ball well, but I mean, he's not a creator. So
he basically is a great recycler, a player that's I mean, today this is what he was doing. He was making sure that because of the tight space that is in midfield, that not only was he press resistant, but he knew what he was going to do with the ball before he got it. And, I think he had a good game for the most part. I don't really see anything that was, I think egregious from his position. But I think it's, if you're relying on him to score or create a goal, I mean, it's a bit tough. Like, there's a reason why he's in MLS. Like, if he was, in Europe and, kind of on a top team, like, then I would expect more from him. I would expect him to also be able to create and, or at least, get us to the edge of the box. And, that's a bit difficult with, MLS players. But does Uncle Artie need to bring down the hammer to get his front office to do more than sell off the top players of the club at the expense of the success of the club? I'll let you answer that one.
So selling the players, I mean, it's good business. I think most of the players that's left, wanted to leave. So, I mean, I don't think there's much we can do on that front. I mean, you're buying players, you're selling them for a profit. I think we're looking past getting players that are going to sell on for profit. I don't really think that's our idea going forward anymore. I think we understand that the market isn't there for that for us. We're not going to be able to win games like we used to if we do go for those players realistically. And I think, I don't necessarily think he's as I don't know if he would go in and put a hammer. Like, the only person I feel like he might be like, I don't really like what's been done by you is Boca probably. I would say he's the person that built the roster that made these issues realistically. Like, most of the underlying issues in this roster came from his tenure, but I think we already know that he's not the main man in the office anymore. So, I think we've already kind of settled that. I don't think it's that big of an issue overall.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think his tenure is tenuous in terms of Carlos Bocanegra, but as far as the ethos from Garth Lagerwey, it's definitely not this. And if you look at Seattle Sounders, his previous club that he did this with, I don't think there was a lot of selling of players really. It was like those players that he bought are still there. Arguably, they're having difficulty selling them right now, or at least moving them on, per se, because it's just
not there anymore. Ladero left, right?
Ladero.
That a main piece that left, I think.
But that's because
also
aging out.
Bigger budget, so
exactly. But they were aging out, and it's also at that point, basically, Rui Diaz, a lot of their fans want him out. Jordan Morris, a lot of their fans are sick of him. They're actually asking for more change. So it's kind of
two players with bad injury histories now.
Exactly.
As well.
But
I think that's one of the issues that I saw with signing the 32-year-olds, 30-year-olds that are kind of coming out and they already are looking kind of tired on legs. Those contracts are going to be 3-4 years, and by the end of those, we're going to be. That's not good for our future. Personally, that's why I'm worried on those. But
right, it's almost hamstrung a little bit, and I think that's the thing. It's possibly if you can swing it this way, front load the contracts. So essentially, but it is difficult with doing that because think about it from a standpoint of a person that's being paid a wage to do a job anywhere. Would you sign a contract where you get paid more in the beginning and then get paid less at the latter years of the contract? Like, yeah, like it's pretty difficult to get that, let alone anywhere else, let alone in sports. So yeah, you're always, from a motivational standpoint, a player is going to want more at the end of a contract. So it's difficult. But yeah, what were you about to say?
It's also if we know, or if the front office has some sort of insight on if we have two options to, like, if we're able to buy down more than one player at the end of the year, I think I would be more comfortable going into that. I think we're not 100% sure on how that's looking in the future, so I would be slightly worried buying into that. But if that's on the horizons, being able to buy out contracts easier, I would be more interested. But I mean,
yeah, that's.
Also, I just don't see us. That's not what we're trying to build right now. That's not who we're targeting.
Yeah,
I'm not really worried about it anyway.
Right. All right. Let's see. Sniper says, but they should have had replacements lined up before leaving the club, shorthanded in 3 positions. That's the thing. I think they do have them lined up.
Open.
Exactly. Like the window needs to open for us to bring in those players. Yeah. Likewise, so Amador, it's like you can have players leave. That's the thing. You can't bring those players that you're trying to bring in until they can officially be on the roster. So Amador is training with the squad right now. We have the Wiley, at least, positional replacement. So, okay, like, that's at least one position. But, yeah, it's tough when, the leagues are also in different, kind of parts of their season. But Omar S. Sleesh should be double pivoting with Tristan. When one pushes up, the other should defend. I mean, possibly.
I mean, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah, it's like, Muyumba, I think, is more the 8. Sleesh is more the 6. But I get you, and I think they do that. I don't think there's a lack of understanding between the two to, if one's pushing forward, okay, well, yeah. I think the total football between our midfielders, at least the starters, I don't see that as a big issue. I think what's lacking are final balls, are goal contributions from our midfielders. We don't really have that. We haven't really had that in quite some time. And, yeah, you have that. You have, a lot of these players not performing in front of goal. Basically, our forwards have not done their job, so they look worse too. I mean, that's kind of part of it. The goals change the games. They make the players on the pitch look a lot better too. All their ratings go higher in terms of kind of from game to game. But Omar S., we really shouldn't need the replacements to be here to beat teams like Indy 11 and Montreal, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But, they're at home. We haven't cracked that nut on the road yet, and especially without our best players that have left, it makes it even more difficult when you don't have time to train between matches. So, yeah, are they excuses? Not really excuses. I think they're reasons. It's like... I think we're maybe expecting too much from the squad at the moment. Like that.
I would agree.
But if we had Almada, if we had Gigi, and we had this scoreline, which we had earlier in the season, that's why a lot of people were upset, because we should have won some of those games. But right now, to expect to win, I don't know. Sniper.
It's also there were also some performances similar to tonight when we did have those players, and I think that was the biggest concern.
Yep.
At least in my opinion, because whenever you have a higher SG and you have bigger chances and you're just missing, that comes down to unluckiness, unfortunate. You're not taking your chances, but you're the better team. We got past. We weren't just not the better team. We got past that point. Whenever you don't win 7 games, that's more than being unlucky.
Yep. It was
more than that.
Yeah, it was very much, the bottom fell out, and it's just at that point, I think a lot of players either down-tooled, lost confidence, or just stopped being motivated, really. But Sniper says, could we have delayed the transfers then? No. That's the problem.
Not likely.
Yeah, like
I mean, if you're paying that much money, you want your asset now. I mean, they're not going to let them. Maybe could we stall the transfer, but likely they're going to move on. I mean, you're not going to get the same amount of money, so
yeah, and
if
especially
the money's right then you got to take it.
right,
So,
and especially you have these issues too. Though it's like okay, it depends on when your fiscal year starts as well. As a team, it's like okay, well, when your season starts or when you're trying to bring in players, that also matters. Again, different leagues have different start times and end times, and so yeah, right now, Botafogo are trying to play. They're wanting to play, so they're bringing in Thiago Almada. Cruz Azul is playing right now, so yeah, they're bringing in Gigi. If you delay and they get injured, well, you don't get that transfer fee, and you don't sell the player, and then at that point, you're saddled with a player that's injured and possibly immovable. So it's like in a completely perfect world, sure, where every team in every league in every country plays exactly the same time, but. Let's see. Sniper says, "At least see us out to the start of League's Cup." I mean, yeah, it's just not possible.
It's hard.
But,
like, and Europe's already getting into they're starting preseason already. Basically all other North American, South American league is playing currently.
Yep.
I mean, GG joined while they were in the middle of preseason. They were like almost getting ready to play, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
There's not really much holding back, and.
Yep.
The money's right, you gotta take it, like I said.
Yeah, and the money was right for Gigi. As far as Almada, it was just okay. It was time. It was holding on to him, like I mentioned in other content on the channel. It was time for us to move on from him. We weren't winning with him, so you get enough of a transfer fee, then yeah, with a player that's already want away, you almost have to just take it. And it was good enough, and especially with the add-ons, optics-wise, it looked good enough that, okay, yeah, maybe we didn't get the 25 that we wanted guaranteed. Maybe we didn't get the 30 that, we really were probably trying to go for. But, good enough that's, yeah, if we were winning, if we were fourth or fifth, in the Eastern Conference right now, it'd be a way different story. But that's not the reality.
It's also he was gonna leave us anyway, so
exactly.
he was leaving for the Olympics.
Exactly.
With Argentina. So
right, and
the transfer wasn't that much of a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, he missed 1 or 2 games more.
Yeah. Probably a little bit more. Yeah, but still, it's just
because he was. Yeah, probably 4 minus 1 that he was suspended for. So yeah, probably about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's see. So I guess the answer to my past question is that we just wait to rebuild in the winter by building our stash this summer as we write off the season. Again, MLS is very forgiving, and the whole writing off the season. I mean, we can sneak into the playoffs. Now, if we can figure out how to win on the road with either Valentino or a new head coach, it makes it a lot tastier of a proposition, and we become the team that nobody wants to play. So, there is the possibility that something can be salvaged in the season. Now, Leagues Cup, I don't know. I don't know if we can do too much. But, yeah.
Personally, I want to, if we can win our game, what do we have, 1 game at home? Or is it 2? We have 1 game at home, right?
I think it's 1 game, but yeah, I have to check. So
win that 1 game, lose away from home, I'm perfectly fine with that. Or get like a point. Do something at home. Other than that, punt it.
Yeah,
I don't care about it.
It's the hardest competition that we have this season. I mean,
exactly.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
so it's whatever.
Yeah. Next question, and probably last question here. It's a switching gears type of thing. Changing the conversation briefly, who do you think is going to win in tomorrow's Cup Finals? Me personally, Spain and Colombia. they have the better football. What do you think?
I would Spain for me. I think they're the team going in that actually has a game plan. So I think that's my one for them. Colombia, I think it's gonna be a really close game. I think for me it depends. I think the Spain are gonna be a lot. I think personally Spain are gonna win a lot easier, and I think probably it'll be an Argentina late goal to win it. Personally, for me, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's just,
yeah, Spain is definitely, they play the better football. They have some crazy talented youngsters, but it's also England. They have the talent, they have the inferior coach, but it's crazier things have happened because their top end talent is definitely, I think, really really good, and it makes it for a very interesting final. But I think realistically, probably it's going to be Spain. But I have some Arsenal players that are on the
I
England
wouldn't be
squad.
shocked
So
either way.
yeah,
Either way, I
exactly.
wouldn't be shocked. But
Exactly. I think I want to see my Arsenal players win a trophy
Yeah.
here. So I think that's probably, even though David Raya is on the Spain squad, but he's not starting really. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things. But
Kind of like, do you want football to win, or you want your you want the football team to win, or do you want the
players.
the guys you like?
well, yeah, this is the thing too. Though it's like I don't have a personal stake in either of the either of the teams other than players, because I'm not English nor Spanish, so it's
I
you
don't.
know it's one of those. I'm
Doesn't
gonna
bother me either
yeah,
way.
exactly. I'm gonna root for the the players
Yeah.
that's might benefit from it. So for the other team that I root for. But as far as Colombia and Argentina, it's also a good final, and it makes it for very interesting. Like one's on a very hot streak. Argentina is, a world power at the moment. Is probably the best, national team on the planet, and
Yeah.
it's tough. It's hard to not root, but hard to bet against Messi, and
Yeah.
especially with this team, with this Argentina team, I think it's Argentina. I think they're
I'm
on
gonna
a
be interested to see how they decide they're gonna play against Colombia. I want to know if they're
Yeah.
gonna try and kind of seduce them in and just try and hit them really quick, or if they're gonna actually try and control the game. Because so far they've picked and choose who they were gonna really dominate against,
Yeah.
and that one's the more interesting one for me.
Mhm.
Out of the two, because I think I kind of know how Spain are gonna play. I think they play the same way basically all the time. So I think they're gonna play very similar. Argentina, I think if you're looking for a team that's gonna do something different out of like all the four that are playing tomorrow, I think it would be Argentina. But
yeah.
again, Messi's on the field, so you never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
So,
And it's I think you're right. Like Argentina has a lot more adaptive qualities, and they have
100%, yeah.
they're just so deep as well.
I just hope they don't go to 5 at the back again. Ugh, I hate
Yeah.
whenever they do that.
But they might
Boring.
need to, and control a little bit, and
I
then
100% get it.
Yeah.
I understand it. Yeah.
like basically control
Missing
it
out, yeah.
from a
That's just boring for the
defensive
viewer.
standpoint. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But that's the thing. They only need a moment of magic with Messi, and if they can completely stymie Colombia, which is possible. I mean, if they can man mark James out of the game, I mean, it might be a thing that is really prudent for them. But yeah. So we'll leave it there. Connor, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your night, man.
Thank you. I'll see you.
See you, man.
You as well.
Thank
See ya.
you. All right. You guys have a few more questions in here. We'll answer them, and then I will head out. It's about to be midnight, so so I guess the answer to my past question is you got that one already, Sniper. I feel the better value is in the summer. I agree. Spain and Colombia. Argentina has scraped by. Yep. I mean, Colombia, that would be a different winner, and it would make it for, more interesting for around the world, for sure. Spain obviously have won recently, and, I think, like I mentioned, with my Arsenal players that are English, I think it would be good for them. It would kind of build a mentality that will be good to watch from them going forward. But yeah, all right. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I've been AJ. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you all so much for chilling even after a horrid game from Atl United. But yeah, lots of chatter and obviously passion from all of you guys. We want to see our club do better, and I think we can. We have to put the pressure on the club in order to have the change happen like we want it to. But guys, yeah, so really appreciate you, and we will see you in the next video.